Hello and welcome back to Aviary Attorney here on MBGF Plays. I forgot to sync my audio. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Alright. Anyways. Last time we were trying to exonerate the Prince of Spain, or a Prince of Spain. I'm not entirely too sure on that. Anyways, we went to the Palais du Louvre and looked at the crime scene and found a chocolate bar. Let's find out where that came from. We've got a day. Got a few days. Lander. Oof. I don't even know how to do his voice. Oh no, he's German. No, he's not German. I'm so dumb. He's Dutch. Or he speaks Dutch. Belgian chocolate shop. Alright, so, Belgian chocolate shop, Dutch-speaking elephant. Man, I speak Dutch fluently, like I should be able to do this. Welkom to Landers Hagelslaks Chocolate Emporium, the finest Belgian chocolate shop in all of Paris. I am Lander Hagelslak, the founder and owner of this establishment. And I am J.J. Falcon, defense attorney. Good day, monsieur. Oh, lawyers, very fancy. I must say that I once dreamed of being a lawyer, but, well, circumstances wouldn't allow it. It's a funny story. You see, when I was a young boy, I befriended the son of a Hungarian attorney. Falcon, you have to help me. What is it? It's the smell, Falcon. It's overpowering me. It's demanding that I lay waste to the shop. For pity's sake, restrain yourself, Sparrowson. Oh, but I'm rambling, aren't I? So are you messieurs here to buy some chocolate? Yes. No. We're actually here on business, monsieur. Business? First things first, we believe that this chocolate wrapper originated from your shop. Are we correct? Oh, yes. That is indeed the trademarked Hagelslak wrapper for the genuine Belgian Hagelslak chocolate. This was almost certainly brought from this very establishment. Very good. With that established, there is something else we wish to ask Monsieur Hagelslak. Who bought this piece of chocolate? Can you tell us who bought the chocolate that was contained in this wrapper, Monsieur Hagelslak? I'm afraid not, messieurs. Not just because of matters of confidentiality, although that is a factor, you understand, but because I couldn't possibly know that. I thought elephants never forgot. My memory is impeccable, monsieur, but you must understand that I have dozens of customers a day. There are hundreds of people who could have potentially bought this particular item. So your memory is good, but you need further information. If we were able to give you a description and name of a person, would you be able to tell us whether they purchased something from you? Oh, yes. That I could probably do, monsieur. Let me think who to ask about. Oof. Alright. Step one is to ask about the flamboyant Prince of Spain. Have you ever served Juan Querido, the Prince of Spain? A Prince of Spain? No, monsieur. Well, that's good to hear. Our clue would have turned into a dead end if our own client turned out to be a chocolate fiend. I did once serve a princess from Mali, if that is any help. You see, I met the girl while hiking through the Himalayas. Please stop. Let me think. Who to ask about? The royal guard who was killed. Or... Let's ask about Major Howell. Have you ever served a member of the royal guard by the name of Major Howell? No, monsieur. Are you sure? Yes, monsieur. I have served many soldiers, but I don't recall seeing a major here in recent memory. What does that mean, Falcon? Have we lost our lead? Not necessarily. It just means Major Howell didn't buy the chocolate that may have killed him. There's still the possibility that someone bought the chocolate for him. That's our lead. That's who we want to find. I see. I did once serve a high-ranking officer in the British Army who was on his way to Zimbabwe, if you want to hear that story. No, I don't want to hear that story. Let me think. Who to ask about? Alright, who else here is interesting? What about Mousy? Have you ever served a tiny mouse named Mousy? No, monsieur. Mice terrify me. Monsieur, I am growing tired of these endless inquiries. Mayhaps you should come back another day. You know, Falcon, it's possible that we just haven't encountered the chocolate fiend yet. Rather than coming back here every day and making aimless guesses, we should wait until we have someone specific in mind. You might have a point, Sparrowson. Thank you for your time, Monsieur Hagglesluck. We shall return when our investigation has progressed a little. Any time, messieurs. Alright, so basically we wasted a day. That's fine. We have new information now. The new spot to go would be Le Canard Joyeux. Can find out something about our prince. Really, Falcon? I thought you were done with your mopey drinking. I'm not here to drink, Sparrowson. Or mope, for that matter. Taverns are a fantastic hub of information. If we wish to get to learn more about this Prince Juan, then this would be the ideal place to start asking questions. Oh, that's pretty good thinking. Oh, I don't remember her voice. Ah, you two are back. Are you feeling any better, Falcon? Much better. Thank you for asking, Madame Quanelle. That's great to hear, Han. Will it be to the usual? No. I'm back to investigative work today, so I've got to keep sharp. We wanted to know if you've seen a Prince of Spain around here recently. A Prince of Spain? I don't know if you've noticed, Han, but this isn't exactly the classiest pub in Paris. I'm lucky to serve the occasional bourgeois. You can forget about seeing a member of royalty. That's a pity. Maybe I should ask some of your patrons. Feel free. The old regulars Rufus and Paul are playing cards in this attic, same as always. But we get all sorts of colorful characters in the drinking room. I bet if you rattled enough cages, you'd find somebody who knows whatever it is you want to know. Thank you, madame. Let's see, where to start? Drinking room or card room? Let's go with the card room first, shall we? Pick up the regulars. Ah, come on, Paul. Just one more game of Jacques Noir. Absolutely not. My wallet is hurting enough as it is. Please. I'll even let you deal this time. The answer's no, Rufus. I'm skint. If you want to play cards, you will have to ask someone else. Fine. I'll ask that big fella. Excuse me, monsieur. Yes, you, monsieur. Would you care to play some Jacques Noir? No, I would not. I'm afraid I don't have time for that, monsieur. I have some investigative work to take care of. Come on, surely you have time for one quick game. No, thank you. Maybe later. I understand. See you around, monsieur. Alright, so if we want to do that, then we have to play a game. Alright, let's check out the drinking room first, then. And then we can go back to cards if this doesn't take time. So there I was, in the grasslands 10 kilometers downriver, rifle in hand. I'd been pursuing this set of footprints for an hour. I was getting closer and closer. I could almost smell the beast. Then, I spotted it. It was a boar. A big, stupid boar, completely oblivious to my existence. I readied my gun. I carefully took aim, and then BAM! You shot it? No. It was the most peculiar thing. The boar slumped over dead right before I could take the shot. Sounds like one of them heart attacks. Minan went the same way. That's what I thought, but when I went to take a closer look, I noticed the boar was frothing at the mouth. Whoa, was it rabid? Possible, but I don't think so. I remembered reading something about frothing around the mouth being a symptom of poisoning. Needless to say, I left the dead animal alone. Good call. Who wants to deal with tainted meat? Ask about the boar. I'm curious. Excuse me, monsieur. Yes, can I help you? You say that the beast you were tracking might have died from poisoning. Could you give us further details? Further details? I'm not much of a poison expert, I'm afraid. Well, what do you think caused it? I would guess that it ate something bad. I saw some of that poisonous plant around. Wolf's bane, I think they call it. But really, I have no idea. I'm a hunter, not a vet. Excuse me. Excuse me, monsieur. What is it? I don't suppose you've seen a Juan Querido around here. He's Spanish royalty. Foxy fellow, swanky hat, calls everyone senor. doesn't sound familiar. Do you recall seeing anyone like that, Piero? Ain't got a clue. Sorry, messieurs, you're barking up the wrong tree. Well, what can you tell us about the Spanish royal family? Do we look like walking encyclopedias or something? I'm afraid that my compadre has a point. If you want to talk about hunting, then I'm your man. But Spanish royalty, that sounds like a question to be answered at a library, monsieur, not a tavern. A library? Maybe you're right. Sorry for bothering you, monsieur. I'll leave him be. Let's give them some peace. Alright, I would say back to cards. Let's see if we can play some cards with this fellow. Ah, the big fella has returned. Here to play some cards, monsieur? Sure, why not? Absolutely. Deal me in, monsieur. Very well, then. Do you know how to play? Nope. Nope. I'm only familiar with Kego and Tap Tarok. Oh, this is much better than those silly games. Let me tell you how it works. I have a deck of cards with values between 1 and 11. I deal you one card at a time. If you hit 21, you win. I give you 5 francs. 5 francs? That seems a little steep. It's a man's game, monsieur. Only children gamble over petty sous. Besides, higher stakes make for a more exciting game, right? I suppose so. 1 card at a time. So, almost blackjack. I like that shuffling animation. Between 1 and 11, he said. Hit me. Perfect. I win. Well played, monsieur. Here's your payout. Shall we have another round? Sure, why not? Absolutely. Deal me in, monsieur. I still love that shuffling animation. Go for 21. That's a 9. Hit me. 12. Alright, now it's getting risky. I'll stop. Dang it. Unlucky, monsieur. Most unfortunate. Shall we have another round? Nah, I'm good. No, I think we're done. Maybe another day, monsieur. I understand. Feel free to come back anytime. See if there's more people in the drinking room. Falcon and Sparrowson return to the drinking floor, but nobody appears to be interested in conversation. Alright. So then I think we're done here. Are we ready to hit the road? Yeah, let's go. Yup, let's make a move. Also, Sparrowson got a little bit of a British accent there for a second, but I'm sure we can fix that in post. And by that I mean leave it. Okay. Occasionally, special cinematic scenes marked by an exclamation point will pop up on the map screen. These cinematic scenes are only available for a day before disappearing, but they take no time to visit. Their viewing is entirely optional. Ah, excellent. Les loups. The wolves? A storm is brewing, my brother. Word of the royal assassination attempt has spread. The proletariats grow confident. The bourgeoisie are cowering. It won't be long before we have rioting. And then, a revolution. Alright. So I'm not 100% on my French history, but I'm pretty sure that they've talked about Napoleon before already. But that they've also but now they keep mentioning that like a revolution is coming. So yeah. So it seems like and the French Revolution, if my numbers are right, was late 18th century, and Napoleon was early 19th century. Like, right after the Revolution. So, yeah. I don't know. Maybe the history of this world is just a little weird. We need information about the French prince. Time to go to the library. Here for a little light reading, are we? Not quite, Sparrowson. I'm following the hunting beagle's advice. Don't eat the poisoned pork? The other piece of advice. that if we want to learn about a member of royalty, we should hit the library. Oh, that makes sense. Say, Falcon, I've been meaning to ask, since we're in a library and all, are you a classic literature fan, or do you prefer more modern works? I like modern works because that'll be like, when was Frankenstein published? That was 18 something. I like modern novels. Have you read The Three Musketeers yet? It has heaps of romance, intrigue, and action. You would love it, Sparrowson. Don't patronize me, Falcon. Of course I've read The Three Musketeers. Despite its contrived narrative turns, I enjoyed the novel's scathing critique of our current social-political climate. Wow, that's quite an insightful review. Wait a minute. You just memorized that single sentence to sound well read, didn't you? Maybe. You have no evidence of this? Would you, messieurs, mind lowering your voices? I can hear you squawking from the other side of the building. Ah, my apologies, monsieur. We'll keep it down. Wait, you're a librarian, aren't you? An astute observation, yes, monsieur. As the only quiet person in the library, I am most assuredly the librarian. Well, now that we have your attention, my friend wants to ask you something. I do? Oh, right. I do. What can you tell us about Don Quixote? That would be interesting. I borrowed this book from a friend. What can you tell us about it? Don Quixote of La Mancha. It's a classic. Everybody has read it. Yeah, everybody, but for those who haven't, I'm not going to sit here and summarize a great work of literature for two imbeciles who are too lazy to read. Nor would I expect you to, monsieur. But what can you tell us about the physical book itself? This particular book didn't come from every library, if that's what you're asking. See, there's no library stamp or card. I assume it was acquired from a bookshop. A French bookshop, if the French translation and publishing information wasn't a giveaway. I see. Thank you. Did you have other questions, or can I get back to work? Spanish monarchy, please. You seem like a scholarly, well-read individual. I'm sure you're up to date on geopolitical news and the like. I don't need your praise. Spit out whatever imbecilic question is in the back of your throat. Well, we understand that the Spanish throne is currently under dispute. Can you give us a brief rundown on who the contenders are? What a trivial question. Even an elementary school child can name the immediate heirs to every throne in Europe. Yeah, but for the sake of those children who slept through that class, can you refresh our memories? Very well. Pay attention, because I'm not repeating myself. The current reigning monarch of Spain is Queen Regent Isabella II of the House of Bourbon, daughter of King Ferdinand VII. Alright, Queen Regent Isabella II. Upon her death, the crown would likely fall to her husband, King Consort Francis, Duke of Cadiz. Although, it is certainly possible that an immediate family member could stake a claim. However, the Queen's position is currently being disputed by the Carlists, headed by the Count of Montemolin. I hope that answers your question. Did you catch all that, Sparrowson? Not a word. Monsieur, I think we're actually interested in a Prince Juan Querido of Spain. I don't think I heard that name in your explanation. Prince Juan Querido? Is that what you said? Monsieur, I think you've been quite misinformed. There is no current Prince of Spain, and I'm not even sure Querido is a real name. It is certainly no line of any Spanish monarchy. How strange. What does this mean, Falcon? Well, one thing is for sure. Our client is not the Prince of Spain. Maybe he's a delusional lunatic. Or perhaps he's involving us in some sort of con. We don't have long before the trial, but it may be in our best interest to confront Prince Juan directly and get some answers. Right. Are you two quite done chit-chatting? Yeah, we are. Don't worry, monsieur. I think we are done here. Thanks for your time. And I bid you good day. Okay. Running theory. Prince Juan is not a prince. Duh. But he is, and he's trying to fool us by, carrying a book, like just the famous Spanish novel of the time, but in French, so that we can read it, because we don't speak Spanish, presumably, considering we don't know who on earth the Spanish monarchy is. Yeah, that and just calling everybody senor, and that seems to have worked. So the question is he working for the same people that are trying to kill the Spanish monarch or make it look like the Spanish monarch is being killed? Or does he have his own agenda? But I guess the way to do that would be to go to the prison and interrogate the fuck out of him. You again. Visiting hours are over. Come back later. I have no time for your quibbling, monsieur. Stand aside. You can't talk to me like that. I most certainly can. We have reason to believe that you are housing a suspect under false pretenses. That is in direct violation of statutes 204B and 488C of the French Criminal Code of Justice. Failure to comply with our request may result in you, yes, you, monsieur, being held directly responsible for any consequential legal action. All right, no need to break out the legalese on me. I'll go open the cell. Wow, Falcon, how did you memorize those criminal codes? Memorize? Come on, Sparrowson, learn how to bluff. Fucking got him. Had to wait for the music to get a little quieter. Ah, Senor Falcon, it is so good to see you again. You have some good news about my case, I hope. A little politeness never hurt anybody, except for possibly us right now. Listen, Juan, in order to maximize our chances of a successful trial, I need to know every bit of information. I can't work with half-truths. If you tell me one thing, and the prosecution's evidence tells me another, then we're both in trouble. I'm afraid I don't quite follow, senor. Do you want me to spell it out? I know that you are not the Prince of Spain. I know that your name is not Juan Corrido. Where is this coming from? I assure you, senor, that I am who I claim to be. If you want your trial to be a farce, then you don't need my help. Come, Sparrowson, we're leaving. Wait, calm yourself, Monsieur Falcon. I'll reveal all. Did you just say monsieur? What happened to your Spanish accent? Your suspicions are well placed. Juan Corrido is not my real name, and I am not a Spanish prince. That was just a persona I concocted for the purpose of getting arrested. So what is your real name? What's in a name? It's just an empty label, a vapid reflection of who we really are. Today I am Juan Corrido, Prince of Spain. Tomorrow I may be Bruno Reyes, a pauper living under the bridge of La Seine. But that does not change who I am or what I do. That didn't really answer my question. No, I suppose it didn't. But you're a smart bird, Monsieur Falcon. I suspect that you already know my real name. Ah. Yeah. You are Renard Vulpes, private investigator. Very astute, and you are Monsieur Falcon, private defense attorney. But that wasn't always your name, was it, Monsieur Falcon? Just like me, you know how to adopt a new persona on a whim. You changed your name, Falcon? I didn't know that. This isn't about me, This isn't about me, Juan Renard, Monsieur. We're trying to uncover the truth here. Of course. So what truth is it that you are attempting to uncover, Monsieur Falcon? Why would you want to get arrested? You're putting me in a difficult position, Monsieur. If I tell you the full story, I would be putting someone else in danger. How about this? I'll tell you a story. I like stories. There was a girl, a mademoiselle, who was in a great deal of debt. Everyone has debt these days, monsieur. Indeed, but this particular mademoiselle was indebted to a very powerful man, and that man wished to collect. The mademoiselle had no means of paying, so the man offered her a deal. Murder this man, and I will forget what you are owed. Refuse, and I will reap what I am owed from your parents. With no alternative options, the mademoiselle accepted. But another man, a gallant knight with foolish, archaic notions of chivalry, heard the mademoiselle's story. The knight knew that the murder was inevitable, but he saw a way to take the fall in the mademoiselle's place. Do you understand what I am saying, monsieur? I think I understand. I understand, monsieur. To be honest, it wasn't the subtlest of allegories. Ah, Storytelling was never my strong suit. But I'm glad that you're seeing things from my perspective. Hopefully that sheds some light on the situation.
If I may ask, monsieur, why did you not just go to the police with the information that you had?
The police are not always an option. What is a man to do when the justice system itself is the problem?
I'll let you know when I figure it out, monsieur.
Do well on it. Perhaps we should talk about something else in the meantime.
I don't have any more questions for you, Juan. I think we've learned all we can for now.
Really? I don't feel that we've learned very much. Oh, Monsieur Falcon, before I forget, could you find Mousy and ask him whether the birds have successfully flown south for the winter?
Whether the birds have successfully flown south? What is that? Some sort of code?
Something like that. But rest assured, Monsieur, that this does directly pertain to the case.
Well, if we have time, I'll be sure to let Mousy know. Let's make a move, Sparrowson. Trial day is approaching.
Right. Okay, so. Oh, is it trial day today? Okay. Yeah, I think it's trial day already. Falcon, what are you doing? It's trial day. We have a Spanish prince to defend.
Oh, right. What was I thinking?
Alright, so it is trial day. And this is where I have to make my decision based on, is the trial going to work out? Are we redoing things in order to figure out what really happened? Because we wasted a day at Les Halles. I'm curious to see all the different ways that this trial can play out. Let's see what we can do. Once again, Falcon and Sparrowson find themselves waiting outside the doors of the Tribunal de Grande Instance. Are you feeling nervous, Falcon? Nah, we're good.
Actually, I think we might have a handle on this case. All the pieces are coming together nicely.
Awesome. Let's demolish that pompous prosecutor with walls of evidence. Senor Falcon, I trust everything is in order?
Absolutely. I have every intention of bringing the truth to light in this trial.
Ah, such confidence. That's magnificent to see. And bringing the truth to light, you say? An admirable goal. No more jousting at imaginary giants. I'll have you cease your yammering. The door's opening. Here we go. Buena suerte, Senor Falcon. We will. Are we ready?
We're ready.
Okay. The trial is here. Let's get started. JJ.
Severin.
Nervous?
Why would I be nervous? I'm not nervous. I'm as calm as a cuckoo. You're the nervous one. This whole courtroom is nervous.
Whoa, cool your feathers, Falcon. Terrible. You can't even maintain a stoic facade. I thought this trial would be the perfect opportunity for you to redeem your previous embarrassments. But if this is how you act before the trial is even started...
Why, you pompous-tailed, posture-perfect...
Order, order. Let's all settle down. Court is now in session. Psst. Falcon.
What is it?
Is it me, or does the primary judge look hairier today?
That's a different judge to the one who resided over Dame Cataline's trial, you doofus.
Oh, still it's a little strange, isn't it?
'Tis a little, I suppose.
Excuse me, Your Honor. I was under the impression that Judge Maxime would be residing over this case. Where is he? Judge Maxime has gone on a temporary sick leave due to a terrible accident with a flight of stairs. But rest assured, assessors, prosecutor, defense, and members of the jury that I am more than qualified to fill his shoes. Without further ado, let's get this show underway. This is the trial of Prince Juan Corrido, who stands accused of murdering Major Howell and of conspiring to murder the king himself. Roll call.
The defense is present and ready, Your Honor.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Good. Very good. I expect this to be a nice, speedy trial. I don't want to see this dragged out by technicalities and bureaucracy. Well said, Your Honor. I expect that once this court sees the overwhelming evidence, this trial will be over in 5 minutes.
5 minutes?
He's just messing with your head, Falcon. Keep it together. So we're all on the same page. Excellent. Prosecutor, please call your first witness to the stand. Very well. I call the police officer who investigated the crime scene. I call upon Inspector Just Volerti. Fucked up his name again.
Step up to the stand, Inspector, and recite the oath.
I swear to speak without hatred and without fear, to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Please recite your name and occupation for the court record. My name is Inspector Just Volerti. I am a servant of the law, a scourge of the gutter rats. That will do, Inspector. We've all heard your monologue before. Whoa, Cocorico is really going for a speed record, isn't he? Cocorico's the real speedrunner here. Now what can you tell us on what you witnessed on the morning of 7th of January? Of course. At 10 o'clock in the morning, I was called to Louvre's Grande Galerie by one of the King's Royal Guards. Did he just say o'clock? There I saw Prince Juan, King Louis Philippe, and the corpse of Major Howell with a rose in his hand, and around 24 citizens. The citizens and the king himself all attest to seeing Major Howell taking the rose from Prince Juan's hand, then promptly dropping dead. And what did the morgue uncover upon examination of the corpse? He's Boston now. The coroner determined with absolute certainty that Major Howell died of poisoning. Aside from a prick upon the finger, there was no sign of external harm to Major Howell's body. Therefore, the poisoned rose must have been the cause of death. Putting the pieces together, that does seem very implicative of the prince. I have no further questions.
Damn, I was hoping that the coroner's report would determine that the guy died from a freak heart attack or something.
That would make for a particularly speedy trial, wouldn't it? But no, we aren't so lucky. Something else must be amiss in the old bird's testimony.
Right, I'll tear it apart. Your Honor, I wish to cross-examine the witness.
Falcon, wasn't it? Don't waste the court's time. A high-ranking police officer would never lie on the witness stand.
I wouldn't accuse the inspector of lying. I just want to make sure that every base is properly covered.
Ugh, this sounds like pointless nitpicking to me, but I'll allow it. For now.
Go on, Falcon. Do your cross-examination.
Okay, select a statement to question. What kind of evidence do we have? We have the chocolate wrapper. We have R&M business card. We have a book page. Sprig of monkshood sold to us by Mademoiselle Signe. Yeah, these are just useless, aren't they? So we really wasted a day here. We may go back. And by go back, I mean we may play this trial again, see if we can get a better result than whatever we're doing now. Don Quixote, a book Prince Juan gave us to read. On close examination, page 44 seems to be missing. And there's page 44. Alright, so he was there by the Louvre's west entrance. Interesting. Alright, he died of poisoning. It was Major Howell with the rose in hand. 10 o'clock in the morning. 10 o'clock. Do we have any evidence that says it's not 10 o'clock? We don't. Died of poisoning. 24 citizens. Let's ask about this, see if we can get at the rose.
Inspector, I would like to ask you about the victim, Major Howell. It's curious. We've spent our whole investigation focusing on the murder, but I still don't know much about the victim himself. Exactly who was Major Howell?
He was a royal guard, a well-respected dog who was getting on in the years. I was not friends with the man, but I had met him on several occasions in the past, at banquets and royal meetings and the sort. Major Howell was a stern, no-nonsense fellow, but he was a good man. His wife and children no doubt miss him.
No doubt. Thank you for the insight, Inspector.
Do you have another question about the victim, Major Howell? Yes, I do. What if he was the intended victim?
We have been treating this case as if the intended murder target was King Louis Philippe, but there is another possibility. What if the killer was trying to murder Major Howell from the very beginning?
JJ, stop talking. You just said something very stupid. I could explain why and humiliate you in front of the whole court. Alternatively, you could retract your question right now, and I will save your humiliation for another day.
He's bluffing. Also, this trial's gonna go horribly, and I don't know why not. I know a bluff when I see one, Severin. My question stands.
Okay, here goes. The myriad of reasons why your question was unfathomably stupid. First, it doesn't absolve your client of any guilt. If the defendant was intending to murder Major Howell, then he is still guilty of murder and would likely face the same punishment as before. Second, it doesn't make any sense. Nobody has a motive to kill Major Howell, but plenty have a motive to kill the king.
Alright, I get it.
Third, many citizens attested to seeing the defendant deliberately try to approach the king himself, not the major. His intentions were very clear to everyone present. Fourth,
Prosecutor, that will do. Defense, don't ask such stupid questions.
alright,
Yeah, we got destroyed. We do not have questions about Major Howell.
24 citizens, who are they?
Inspector, you say that there were around 24 citizens, all of whom attest to seeing my client deliver the poisoned rose?
Oh boy, when you put it like that, our situation seems a little dire, doesn't it? Correct. We collected precisely 22 testimonies, and there were no major inconsistencies.
Major inconsistencies? Are the testimonies trustworthy?
I saw nothing to give me doubt.
But surely there is a possibility that the citizens were bribed or threatened.
Falcon, I can't understand having doubts about 1 or 2 testimonies, but are you really saying that 22 people were coerced?
Probably not, no. Well, no. Having 22 people in on the same lie would be difficult. I was just wondering whether some could have been misled.
Given the consistency between testimonies, I very much doubt it.
Yeah, let's ask another question.
What exactly did they say?
I would like some further details. What exactly did the testimony say?
Each citizen attested to seeing the king and his entourage approaching the new painting from the Grande Galerie. They each heard the king deliver a short speech, which was on the subject of progress and societal improvements and whatnot. There was some applause, then Prince Juan stepped out of the crowd and approached the king with a rose in his hand. Each person saw Major Howell take the rose from the Prince Juan, and each person saw Major Howell promptly drop dead.
I see.
Some of the descriptions of the man's death were quite graphic. He convulsed, twisted, and spasmed, said one witness. His mouth frothed like he was a rabid lunatic, said another.
Thank you, Inspector. I think we get the picture.
Do you have another question about the crowd's testimony? No, I do not. Alright, so we've done those. Poisoning. This might be it.
Inspector, you say that the coroner determined with certainty that Major Howell was killed by poison?
Correct. He stated the signs and symptoms were textbook. There was no possibility that the death was natural. What kind of poison?
Did the coroner mention specifically what kind of poison it was?
He was not certain. At first, the coroner posited that it was a plant-borne poison like that of the aconite flower, but then he learned how fast the poison had taken effect. He noted that this was atypical of aconite. Consequently, he suggested that it may have been some newly engineered concoction. A newly engineered poison, you say? Well, that only reaffirms that this was a very deliberate assassination attempt. Indeed. Yeah, I do. How was he poisoned?
How exactly was Major Howell poisoned? What was the delivery mechanism?
His finger was pricked by the poisoned rose. He even commented out loud about it seconds before dying. All 22 citizens who witnessed the murder attested to seeing and hearing this.
Is there any possibility that he was poisoned by something else?
What an absurd thing to ask, JJ. You just heard that 22 people saw the victim prick his finger and die. What are your suggestion, that the pricked finger had no relation to the poisoning? That's exactly what I'm saying, because we have a fucking chocolate bar wrapper to prove it.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I don't doubt that Major Howell was poisoned, but I do doubt that the rose was the cause.
Unbelievable. Only a total buffoon could fail to draw that blatant link here. JJ, As tempting as it is to sit here and lecture you on the basics of cause and effect, I'll end this discussion painlessly. Inspector, please tell the defense that you found traces of poison on the thorns of the rose itself. That should alleviate all doubt what the rose was, in fact, the poison delivery mechanism.
Actually, I can't tell him that.
I dread to ask, but why not?
We didn't check the rose for traces of poison. It just seemed obvious that the rose caused the poisoning given the timing of the incident.
Well then, now would be a good time to make a test. Here's a marvelous thought. We prick the finger of the defendant with the rose. If there is no poison on the rose, then Prince Juan lives and he is free to go. If the rose is poisoned, then the prince dies, but that's okay because the punishment would be just and fitting of the crime.
A marvelous suggestion. What is this, a witch trial? This isn't America, Severin. That's not how we do things here.
Calm your feathers, JJ. It was clearly a joke. There are far more humane ways of testing for poison. I'm sure the inspector will perform his duty with due diligence.
Actually, we won't be able to test the rose for poison at all.
Why is that?
Given the dangerous nature of the flower, it was destroyed by the police force. We burned it to ashes.
Such unprofessionalism.
If we have no way to know whether the rose was poisoned, then this whole trial ought to be called into question.
Nice try, JJ, but through the process of reasoning by elimination, we can still deduce with absolute certainty that the rose was poisoned. In other words, there was nothing else at the crime scene that could have caused the poisoning.
Wrong. There was something else at the crime scene that could have contained the poison, something the investigative police blindly overlooked. It is the chocolate bar. Look at this.
What am I supposed to be looking at?
It is the paper wrapper to a piece of chocolate. It was found in the Louvre, the Salle du Timbre, Tibre to be precise, and we can date its consumption to the day of the incident.
You're not suggesting
that Major Howell ate a piece of poisoned chocolate moments before he died? I most certainly am.
Intriguing. Gained a little favor. Did you see this wrapper at the crime scene for yourself, Inspector?
The police force does not have the time nor resources to trawl every piece of trash at every crime scene, I'm afraid.
In other words, you overlooked it. Astounding unprofessionalism.
The prosecution is right to be disgusted. What a disgraceful display, Inspector. I offer my apologies, Your Honor.
I don't want your apologies. I want you to do your damn job properly.
Get off the witness podium before I kick you off myself.
As you wish. I'll take my leave. Until next time, messieurs. So let me get this straight. This chocolate wrapper was found at the scene of the crime.
Not chocolate raptor. That would be
impressive sculpturing, actually. Anyways.
Correct.
And you have reason to believe that it was consumed on the day of the incident.
I do. I have an expert food tasting witness who is willing to testify if need be.
You have a foodie witness? I don't recall anybody like that. Who on earth are you talking about, Falcon? Oh, I see. But you do know for certain that Major Howell consumed this chocolate?
Well, that is a fact we are still investigating.
I see. And do you have evidence that this chocolate was in fact poisoned?
Again, that is something that may require a little more time to definitively prove.
Then, in actuality, you do not have evidence that Major Howell consumed some poisoned chocolate. Instead, you have a solitary piece of rubbish that you plucked straight out of the gutter. That's weak even for you, JJ. Let's move things along. I have another witness I would like to summon. He is a man who claims to have had an excellent view of the people going in and out of the Louvre at the time of the incident. I call upon Monsieur Toussaint Kingsley.
Could the witness please approach the stand and recite the oath?
Ooh, how are we doing your voice? Hello. Oh, right, the oath. I swear to speak without hatred and without fear, to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Please state your full name and occupation for the court record. My name is Toussaint Kingsley. I'm a person who fishes. A person who fishes? So you're a fisherman. Oh, is that how it is? I thought the French justice system was better than this. I beg your pardon? Here comes Toussaint Kingsley, the kingfisher. Clearly he must be a fisherman, because, didn't you hear, all kingfishers are fishermen. Well, you are carrying a fishing rod. And, Can a man not carry a fishing rod, reel, and bait without being branded a fisherman? Look, the prosecutor is carrying a riding crop. Clearly, he must be a horse jockey. For pity's sake, fine. We can list your occupation as person who fishes, not fisherman. Thank you.
Actually, why do you carry a riding crop, Severin? I've never seen you ride a horse.
I don't know, JJ. Why do you, a 30-something-year-old with no health problems, carry a cane?
This is veering quite far off course. Could the prosecution please get back to his questions?
Of course, Your Honor. Monsieur Kingsley, is it true that you were nearby the Louvre at the time of the incident? Yes, I was sitting upon the railing at the Pont d'Arc. So, there. The Pont d'Arc? That's the new bridge that's just a stone's throw. That's the new bridge that's just a stone's throw from the Louvre's south entrance, correct? That's right. And what were you doing at the time of the incident? I was fishing. Kingfishers. Am I right, Falcon? So you would have plenty of opportunity to see the people who entered and exited the palace. Can you tell us who you saw? Well, the Louvre is a busy place. Naturally, I saw a lot of people. But at 9 a.m., I saw the King Louis Philippe himself, enter the building. He was surrounded by his entourage, of course. Then, around 9:30 a.m., I saw this shifty-looking fox lurking around the entrance.
Your Honor, I object to the witness's use of the term shifty-looking. It's a vague and biased description.
No, really, he looked super shifty. I saw him rubbing his paws and cackling gleefully. Then I saw him take out a rose and carefully rub the stem. Rub the stem of a rose, you say? As if you were applying something to the flower, perhaps? Well, monsieur, I really shouldn't speculate. Of course, it was wrong to me to ask such a leading question. But yeah, it definitely looked like he was putting some sort of powder on the stem. Wow, even I wasn't expecting such a bold admission. Members of the court, it sounds like what we have here is a direct witnessing of the defendant readying the murder weapon. The defense claims that the rose was never poisoned, and yet here we have a man who saw the poison with his own eyes.
I smell perjury. You do?
No question, he saw a shifty-looking criminal readying poison and cackling near the scene of the crime. That's not believable at all.
I think you may be right. I wonder if I have any evidence that calls Toussaint's story into doubt. Your Honor, I would like to cross-examine the witness. Really? This nonsense again? You just heard the witness directly describe your client readying poison on a rose. What is there to question? I'm just trying to uncover the truth, Your Honor. Ugh. Fine. Do your thing. Go on, Falcon. Go make a fool out of yourself.
Select a statement to question. Powder. Do we have evidence on that? We don't have anything on the powder, but we do have something on the location.
Monsieur Kingsley, you say that you were sitting upon the railings of the Pont des Arts on the morning of the incident?
Yep.
Monsieur Kingsley, you had a good view of the Louvre's south entrance, didn't you?
Yep. The Pont des Arts is a great vantage point for seeing the Grand Gallery's south side.
What about the other entrances?
The other entrances? Like you mean if you were entering from the Tuileries Gardens or Place du Carrousel? No, I couldn't possibly see those areas from the bridge. But of course that isn't relevant. Monsieur Kingsley witnessed Prince Juan entering the south entrance with a flower in hand, and that's what counts.
What if Prince Juan didn't enter from the south entrance? What if he approached the Louvre from
the gardens?
The Tuileries Gardens to the west.
That's a big what if. Do you have any evidence that Prince Juan entered the Louvre from Tuileries Gardens? Tuileries Gardens?
As a matter of fact, yes, I do. I have a definitive proof that Prince Juan approached from the west, not the south.
Hey, I know what I saw, monsieur. I'm doubtful too. Go on, JJ, show us this definitive proof that Prince Juan entered from the Louvre from Tuileries Gardens. Good grief. It's this piece of paper.
Look at this.
A book page.
Page 44 of Don Quixote specifically. It was found just outside Louvre's west entrance. It was found just outside the Louvre's west entrance.
This proves nothing.
I'm not done yet. Take a look at this.
Don Quixote.
This is the book Prince Juan had been reading in a jail since his arrest. I believe he has had it on his person for some time. And yes, page 44 is missing. That was the first thing I checked. Do you realize what this means? You do realize what this means, don't you, Severin? The defendant was present in Tuileries Gardens prior to entering the Louvre. Stop pronouncing the S on Tuileries, please. So this means, in all likelihood, the defendant entered the Louvre from the west entrance, not the south. He could not possibly have been seen by Monsieur Kingsley from the Porte des Arts.
What? I know what I saw, monsieur. A fine theory, Falcon, but maybe the defendant took the long way around. One can still travel from Tuileries to the Louvre's south entrance by walking along the river.
An extra 2 kilometers of walking just to enjoy the pre-murder scenery. Let's not say silly things, Cocorico.
Okay, maybe the defendant deliberately left the page there to mislead the investigation.
Now you're the one who's blindly speculating.
It's not blind speculation, it's a viable hypothesis.
You are fond of logic, aren't you, Cocorico? Let's talk about Occam's razor. When torn between 2 seemingly equal hypotheses, we must side with the one that imposes the fewest assumptions. Which of these theories takes the fewer assumptions? 1. The page from Prince Juan's book fell out on his way to the Louvre's south entrance. 2. Prince Juan deliberately planted the page on the off chance that it would be discovered, and then he took the long way around.
How dare you? The nerve of you to lecture me on such basic philosophical concepts.
I'll stop lecturing you when you stop making such basic mistakes. Monsieur Falcon, please calm yourself. What is the point of all this yammering? The ultimate point is that Toussaint's testimony is fabricated, made up, utter fiction.
No, everything I've said is the truth.
I suspect that the witness isn't even a fisherman.
I'm not a fisherman.
See, he admits it himself.
That's not what I meant. Gained a little favor with the jury.
Prosecutor, you have something that will put this arrogant falcon in his place, don't you?
I must concede.
You concede?
On this point, at least. Falcon's evidence strongly suggests that the key component of Monsieur Kingsley's testimony is false. No! This doesn't mean that Prince Juan is innocent, of course. All Falcon has demonstrated is that this particular witness is unreliable. But I did say something, I really did. Alright, so maybe I didn't exactly see a shifty-looking fox. I made that part of the story up. But I did see a swan lurking around the south entrance on the morning of the murder.
A swan?
Do shut up, witness. Your word is mud at this point. How can we possibly trust anything you have to say? Your Honor? Judge Romulus? We're out of time. We're 10 minutes overdue to start the hare versus tortoise trial.
Is it that late already? Curses. I was hoping we could have the case wrapped up in a single trial session.
That's a shame. But ultimately, an accurate sentencing is always preferable to speedy sentencing.
Yes, all right. I don't need to hear your moralizing. Court will resume this Friday, the 21st of January at 9 o'clock. Don't be late. Prosecutor, do your damn job. Get this stupid fox a conviction already.
I will do my best to ensure that justice is served, Your Honor.
A lot came up in that trial, huh? Yeah, no doubt about that.
But something's bothering me. Why would that fisherman guy, Monsieur Kingsley, lie on the witness stand?
I feel like he was coerced. Well, it's possible that he was coerced or bribed.
That's just what I was thinking. Maybe the real murderer threatened the fisherman into making up the story about Prince Juan.
Let's keep an open mind. Anything is possible at this stage. But to be perfectly honest, something else is bothering me about the trial. Alright, so, we got a few here. So Judge Romulus bothers the heck out of me. Prince Juan bothers the heck out of me. And Mademoiselle Signe also bothers the heck out. Like, they all bother me. I'm gonna pick the judge, though. Judge Romulus, he's acting without a shred of professionalism. He's obviously more interested in securing a guilty verdict than he is in discovering the truth. But why? Maybe he has a vendetta against Spanish royalty. I'm not so sure. There must be something else at work here. Don't know who this is yet.
Excuse me, Monsieur Falcon. Sorry to bother you, but this letter just arrived. I think it's for you.
A letter for me? I wonder why it wasn't sent to my office.
Have you been demoted to courier status, Rupert? Oh, hush, Sparrowson. I don't need to be pitied by a first-year dropout. Ooh, good comeback. So what does the letter say, Falcon?
It's a threat. A threat made with cut-out newspaper letters.
Whoa, I didn't know those things actually existed. Let me see. Falcon, stop your investigation or there will be consequences. Scary.
There is no question that this letter originated from Major Howell's murderer. He, or she, must be aware that we are getting close to uncovering the truth.
Sounds about right, but why would a person write with cut-out newspaper letters like this?
Masking one's handwriting would be the most common reason. Although I can't help but wonder why they would bother, since we don't have any handwriting samples to compare it to.
We're still going ahead with our investigation though, right?
Yup. Oh yes, absolutely. If a lawyer were deterred every time they received a threatening letter, they would never get any work done. Besides, with only 3 days before the next trial session, we can't afford to be worrying about petty things like this.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Wow, you're right. Let's make those days count. Okay. 3 days before trial number 2. Or trial part 2? Yeah, trial part 2. Trial 2, part 2. That's how this works. So, okay. Here's the thing. So basically, so R&M, Renee, what was his name again? Whatever, Renee admitted to the murder. So if we go to R&M Associates, we can tell the mouse that the bird, or to ask whether the bird has flown south. The birds have flown south for the hibernation of winter. Or we can go to the Chocolate Emporium and ask about Renee, see whether he was there. And I think those are the two things to do right now. But we're going to leave all of that for next time because this episode is nearly an hour long's worth recording at this point. So I'll see you all in the next episode. Goodbye.